So Garou is alive as we suspected. We saw his hand twitching at the end of the previous episode, so we know that he wasn't dead. While he was defending Tareo against Royal Ripper and Bug God, he got distracted by Sludge Jellyfish kidnapping Tareo and got slashed in the back and then hacked up to the point of where Royal Ripper himself, King the Ripper, thought that he had accidentally killed Garou. But not only has Garou survived this, but he's also regenerated from his wounds, as well as his clothes like adhering to his flesh. This is a result of Garou going deeper into monsterization. We saw this started at the end of season 2 in his fight against Bang Bomb and Genos. That's also why like one of his eyes is red, as well as his hair, which is like essentially dyed permanently at this point from his own blood. But it also signifies him being somewhere between a human and a monster, and that's just further progressing in this episode. I don't want to go too much into this stuff because it's going to be fully explained in like either the next episode or episode 6 possibly. So we'll fully break it down then, but this is just, as a result of that stuff. And it also is showing that Garou has progressed to the next level of power due to him surviving a near-death experience here. I mean, it's emphasized by like him getting more muscular. Oh, sorry, I'm flexing. It's emphasized by him being more muscular, and then we for sure see how much stronger he's gotten at the end of the episode. Then we come to the Hero Association, and we see that Child Emperor has successfully located where the Monster Association is. It was mentioned in the previous episode that Garou was aware of one of their drones tracking them. Child Emperor was able to do this by sending like one of his like dog drill robot things through the tunnels that Elder Centipede had made in season 2. So now they're almost ready to make their big descent on the Monster Association with the S-Class. And Child Emperor is talking to Second Guard here and saying like, hey, I'm pretty suspicious of Genos. He lives in Z City, where the Monster Association is based out of. And also, we don't even know exactly where he came from in the first place, because he also claims that his hometown was destroyed, although they don't know it's because of the Mad Cyborg, which Genos says is why that happened. And Genos is the newest S-Class hero, so he's just suspicious of him. And this is also coming off of the previous conversation that Child Emperor was having with Metal Knight, where he was trying to get Metal Knight to help out with the cause against the Monster Association. And Metal Knight was like, no, I don't really want to dedicate my resources to just saving one hostage. I'm more so concerned about a bigger threat than the Monster Association, but I'll just say to you, Child Emperor, don't trust anyone around you, even in the Hero Association. So that really got through to Child Emperor. And he's just going through the roster and he's like, okay, so who should I actually be suspicious of here? Because Metal Knight is one of the smartest people in the world, and Child Emperor is one of his proteges. So it's not like he just talks out of his butt or anything. Like, if he says something, it's like you should listen to it. So he realized that, oh, Genos is kind of suspicious. So he wants Second Guard to exclude him from the big S-Class hero team raid thing here. He also wants Silverfang excluded from the team as well because of his heavy connection to Garou, which is understandable since Garou is a part of this as well. I mean, he's not directly affiliated with the Monster Association, but they're still not fully sure what's going on with him yet. They just know that he's the hero hunter and that he represents a threat just as large as the Monster Association. Second Guard also relays this information to Sitch, and Sitch of course is like not on board with it because Sitch sees good in all of the heroes. But in order to compensate for Genos and Silverfang not being on the team, he says that he's going to add a group of like A through C class heroes. We're going to see who they are soon enough, maybe in episode 6, I think, maybe episode 7. Then we come to the slice of lifey part of this episode, continuing the group hanging out at Saitama's apartment, and they're all eating hot pot. We saw in the previous episode that Dr. Kuseno kind of showed up out of nowhere to come and get Genos, or to check up on him, rather than just sending a drone to retrieve him. And he brought meat with him to, I guess, get on Saitama's good side. And Saitama reluctantly, I guess, is sharing this hot pot meal with everyone, despite the apartment being so small and cramped. And I guess this is also an indirect way to pay Fubuki back, because he did leave her with the bill at that diner in episode 2. Also, we get this hilarious sequence that I just have to point out here. It's like once they all start going for the food, Fubuki like psychically targets the meat, and Genos instantly grabs it, and he's like, Fubuki, what are you doing with Master's meat? That's funny, right? Because, it's like, what are you doing with Saitama's penis? Hey, but real quick, guys, you don't have to subscribe, but can we at least get 3,000 likes on this video? That is a lot, but I'm sure we can do it. All you gotta do is move your thumb over a little bit on your phone and hit that like button. It'll help me, it'll help the video, and I would be really appreciative of it. Thank you so much, guys. Also, later on in this sequence, there's a really rare instance of Genos getting short with Saitama. Genos has kind of been irritated, I guess, progressively post the end of season 2, especially the conversation that he's been having with Dr. Kuseno in this sequence. And Saitama's is like, hey, Kuseno, could you bring some good meat next time too? And Genos is like, stop making rude requests. And then he catches what he said. He's like, I'm sorry, master. And then Saitama's like, you should rest, Genos, indicating like, oh, that's why he's so high strung at this point. But also, there is for sure a deeper meaning to why Genos is so like out of whack in this sequence. And it has something to do with Dr. Kuseno being there. Really, really interesting looking back on all of this stuff. But coming back to Garou, he re-enters the Monster Association because he's trying to go save Tareo. And Giro is aware that someone is entering the Monster Association. They realize it's not a robot, meaning that it's not like the tracking robot the Child Emperor sent, and it's probably not a hero since they wouldn't be stupid enough to go by themselves. Then we come back to Saitama's apartment and we see that King had been like knocked out in all of the scuffle around the hot pot. And he eventually wakes up and he winds up taking Saitama's trash out. But this just leads to the Hero Association workers finding out where King is because they're trying to bring him to the big S-Class meeting that's about to happen, the pre-raid meeting. And once we come to that, we see that Narinki is like freaking out again because his son has been taken by the Monster Association and his private squad that he had sent in there amounted to nothing. Like, they just got low diffed instantly. Not even by the Monster Association. It was just by some random G5 robot sent by the organization. And he's like pleading with Second Guard to do anything that they can to get his son back until the S-Class heroes start to enter. And we're seeing the main team here. It's Flashy Flash, Tatsumaki, Zombie Man, who earlier in this episode we see being mentioned by Second Guard that in order to get to this meeting, he like took the train or the bus or whatever, which is hilarious because Zombie Man, he's kind of, I guess, normal somewhat compared to the rest of the S-Class heroes. Like, he doesn't have gadgets or flying powers or super speed or anything. Like, he just takes the bus like a normal person. But we also have Child Emperor, Pig God, Puri Prisoner, Atomic Samurai, and Super Alloy Darkshine. And along with King, who is on his way, this comprises like the main S-Class strike team going against the Monster Association this season. Tatsumaki also points out that she doesn't want Fubuki involved in this team at all. As we've seen in season 2, Tatsumaki is extremely protective of Fubuki. Like, all it took was for Fubuki to get lashed by Super S, and then she instantly knew that she was under duress and came to save her within like seconds. So that for sure is foreshadowing that Fubuki is probably going to be involved in this in some way or another, especially because we saw in the intro for season 3 that there is going to be like a little splinter group formed between Fubuki, Bang, and Bomb. And I guess King's going to be involved in there too. And that totally makes sense now because we're seeing that Silver Fang has been excluded from this mission because of his ties to Garou. Then we're coming to the end of the episode where King the Ripper is ready to kill Tareo because he's just a full-blown, just crazy psychopath monster, which is understandable. All monsters are essentially psychopaths. We saw in season 2 that when the martial artist ate monster cells and became monsters, they started giving exposition on like how it made them feel. And once they became monsters, they essentially just lost all morality. And I guess Royal Ripper, who we don't really know his origin, we just know that he's like an urban legend monster or whatever. If he was a human originally, he was probably already a psychopath to begin with. So now he's just hyper psychopath. He doesn't even care about the Monster Association's plans of taking over the world or whatever. He just wants to kill. But he's been saving Tareo for his fun time here, and he's about to kill him, and Tareo is like screaming for someone to save him, especially the heroes. And Royal Ripper's like, well, you know what? The heroes aren't even coming here to save you. They're just coming for Waganma. Even though the Hero Association isn't aware that Tareo is down there. But this is just to show that, yes, Garou is coming to save his little bro Tareo here. Getting the point across that Garou is a hero. I mean, he's like an anti-hero at this point, but he'll fluctuate between anti-hero and anti-villain throughout this series, but ultimately just getting the point across that he is a hero, especially in his own way. He's saving Tareo just because it's the right thing to do and he cares about him. As we're with the contrast of the S-Class heroes, they're saving Waganma because they're essentially instructed to because he's the son of the biggest donor of the Hero Association. And he busts through the wall, breaks Royal Ripper's blade instantly, and then takes his head off with one strike. So yes, Garou has progressed so much in power because we just saw in the previous episode that he was somewhat struggling with Royal Ripper. I don't know if struggling is the right word, but he was having somewhat of a competitive clash with him. But now it's gotten to the point of instantly breaking the blade, taking his head off, and then as his head is floating in the air, he hits him with the whirlwind iron cutting fist. This is Bang's brother Bomb's technique. So now Garou is using two techniques here. Bang's water stream rock smashing fist, which has been like his standard technique that he's been using, but now he's combining that with his brother's ability and just blowing him apart. We're going to see this more from Garou, and this is just further signifying how he's evolved. And now that Garou has Tareo, he's going to try to break out of here, but obviously, it's not going to be that easy. We see Garou multiple times in the intro, and we can see that he gets into some serious crap. So, let me know what you thought about this in the comments, guys. If you liked the video, again, please give it a like. And please subscribe if you haven't already. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.